Hi Unbox, my name is John. Today we will be reviewing MyPhone's my36, their comeback device after a disappointing 2014. A lot of you probably were wondering what happened to the company after releasing their real line of smartphones and other high-end devices, and today you're going to find that out. So join us as we review the my36 and tell you what we think about it. While local brand Cherry Mobile was slugging it out with other local and international brands in the bang for the buck market last year, MyPhone was nowhere to be found. Aside from releasing a few token Rio smartphones, the local brand was silent for the most part of the year. That was until they started releasing their new line of My line of smartphones, including two new bang for the buck devices that harkens a return to what made the brand great a few years ago. Aside from scrapping all their current phone lineups and consolidating them into a single device line, MyPhone's looking to regain lost customers and attract new ones by returning to their trademark competencies: budget devices at hard-to-ignore prices. The my36 is one of those devices. Before we start this review, let's take a look at the specs of the my36. MyPhone's my36 is one of the nicest phones that's ever come from the local brand. The phone is relatively compact at just 5.2 inches, which is a big departure from the big screen offerings of rival outfits locally. The my36 has a nice 2.5D glass covering that wraps around the edges of the display, giving the panel a nice premium feel. We earlier mistook the gray frame of the phone to be plastic, but several users chimed in that the frame is indeed made out of metal. On the right side is a volume rocker and a power button, which is very easy to press while holding the phone one-handed because of its smaller size. Up top is a 3.5mm jack, while the bottom of the phone holds a USB port. Once you flip the phone over, you'll see a fall leather finish on the back of the device, which feels a little rubbery to the touch. Back of the phone, and honestly most of the phones under MyPhone's unified MY lineup, sports the Philippine map design that first graced their phones when they started doing business in the Philippines. This is a big deal for a lot of people and is the biggest issue that most people have when considering the my36. In truth, the design isn't so bad, and if you hate the sight of our country's image so much on your phone, you can always buy a new back cover for it or paint over it if you wish. Speaking of taking off the back cover, that's what you have to do to access the two SIM slots and the microSD expansion slot. Unfortunately, the 2900 mAh battery of the my36 is non-removable. On the upper left side of the back of the phone, you'll see a 13-megapixel rear camera along with the LED flash. The lower part of the phone, you'll see the speaker grill, which gets a little muffled when you lay the phone flat on the table. The 5.2-inch display uses an IPS panel and has a full HD resolution. Images are nice and crisp, and colors just pop on the screen. Since the phone is just 5.2 inches big, the images look sharper than they would on a device with a larger screen considering the resolution. The phone uses on-screen Android navigation keys, and the 5-megapixel front camera is located on top, right beside an LED flash for illuminating nighttime selfies. It won't surprise you in the slightest that MediaTek's 1.3 GHz MT6753 octa-core processor is powering the my36, paired with 3GB of RAM. Why should it? It's been the processor of choice for many budget-minded smartphones for a while now, and is what powers the current crop of flare smartphones from local rival Cherry Mobile. It's not difficult to see why. It's fast enough for most people, is relatively reliable, and has enough grunt for both normal usage and gaming. It's also power efficient, as you'll see later on in our battery test. As far as overall user experience goes, the my36 managed to perform well enough, and the 3GB of RAM ensures that everything runs smoothly. Almost all but the most demanding games run well on the my36. We were a little annoyed by the UI of the phone. While the device uses Android 5.1 Lollipop as its base OS, there's a funky UI overlay on top of that strips the app drawer from the phone and lays everything out in the open. There is an upside to that UI though. You get several custom gestures at your disposal, which is kinda okay, we guess. Call quality is okay, though the phone doesn't do well in the GPS and connectivity department as phones powered by rival system on a chip. Call connectivity is good, with no problems whatsoever in the calls made to and from the phone. The speaker is sufficiently loud, though the sound again does get muffled when you lay the phone down flat with the screen up. The My36 has a 13 megapixel rear camera along with a Samsung-made sensor, face detection autofocus, and flash. We took it along with us during Sinulog 2016 where it performed rather well. The face detection autofocus unit locks into subjects quickly and the camera managed to capture quite a bit of detail in the photos in bright light. Photos have generally good colors, though the images aren't as vibrant as we would have wanted. Overall quality is good and perfectly acceptable for uploading in social media. Low light performance isn't the best, but there's definitely quite a bit of noise evident in photos taken indoors. There's also a manual mode hidden away in the shooting modes that you can select, though it's not true manual shooting as you're only limited to a few options that you can tweak. It's better than nothing though. Video quality is quite good, though the unit obviously suffers from the lack of optical image stabilization as you can see in the sample video. More and more people are looking for smartphones with bigger batteries, which puts the My36 at a disadvantage since it doesn't come with a lot of juice. The 2900 mAh battery isn't particularly large, but since the phone comes with MediaTek's new power-efficient processor, the MT6753, is more than enough to power the device for around a day. Our battery benchmark put the My36 at 7 hours and 6 minutes, which is good enough for most people. Like it or not, MyPhone's new direction signifies a positive change for the company. They're going back to the things that matter: design, affordability, and image quality. Things that made them such a hit in their earlier years. The My36 is a great step in that direction, and while people will constantly argue about the return of our country's image on the back of their phones, there's no denying that the My36 is a great start in a new chapter in the company's history. So that has been our video review for the MyPhone My36. If you like this particular phone, remember this is now on sale in both Lazada and MyPhone's physical store for 6,999 pesos. So if you like that video, please leave a like, subscribe, comment. If you have any other questions, just leave it down there. We're gonna try and get around to it. Like our Facebook page, find our Facebook. Don't stalk me, just stalk our Facebook. So that's pretty much it. My name is John. Peace out.